came for your booty. Oh, sorry guys, I kinda changed my voice, cause I couldn't help it my original voice, so I came as a pirate. Yarr! Yes, I'm a pirate. So we're gonna react into I'm Sorry. Oh, I'm just joking. We're gonna react to It's Back. What the fuck? I'm sorry guys, cause okay. So sorry guys, cause I couldn't, cause the stupid ad just made me scream. The another game made her mad, so that's why I couldn't literally help. So that's why you have to react to it, the untold story of Sister Location. Let's start. Wait, what happened? Oh no! I forgot that I broke the volume. Sorry. Let's start.
No, God, no, God, no. Screw it. Let's talk about this thing. By all that's unholy, FNAF is somehow back. Someone got together their little summoning circle of Funko plushies and recycled Chuck E. Cheese pizza and awakened the sleeping behemoth that is Scott Cawthon, and now here we are with a new trailer for FNAF 7 and me in children's pajamas. Thank you, Internet.
Oh my God.
Also, can we just agree that this is creepy, right? Not me wearing kids' PJs, certainly, though, come to think of it, that is really weird. No, the fact that I'm in a nightie that is dedicated to an animatronic that gets dead children stuffed into it. It's odd, man. Merch in 2019. Yeah, indie games. Now, at the end of last summer, FNAF was basically done. The book series had concluded, FNAF 6 had burned the series to the ground, and Ultimate Custom Night ended the story by trapping William Afton in eternal torment. All that was really left was the movie. Just like Jeremy laid to rest on a nearby hillside, it was time for the series to finally rest in peace. But then, back in November, Scott hopped onto Steam to give all us Fredheads an update, and suddenly, the movie was the least certain thing of the group. A VR game? An AR game? More books? A third new game called Into Madness? Clearly, Scott intended me to be the protagonist of that one, since that's exactly where I'm headed to with so much new FNAF headed our way. Even a AAA game, where apparently instead of stuffing children into animatronics, they start getting stuffed into loot boxes. Fast forward 4 months to today, and here we are, with the first new Scott Cawthon teaser in nearly a year. A teaser for one of the items on this massive list of animatronic horror sent to taunt me. But which one is it, and what it means for this new era of FNAFing is exactly what we're exploring today. So, let's get analyzing. First, let's just assess what we're seeing here, shall we? Clearly, you have 5 animatronics that are all melted together, which would be interesting enough on its own, but making it even more compelling is the fact that they all span the history of the franchise. You have Freddy, Foxy, and Bonnie, all in their FNAF 1 forms, but then you also have the pre-mangle form of Funtime Foxy from Sister Location, and also pre-trapped Springtrap from, well, a lot of different cutscenes throughout the series, but most notably from the Fruity Maze minigame dating in FNAF 6. You can actually tell this based on the general shape of the nose, as well as the lack of decay and aging that you normally see post-Springlock failure. But since this is a Scott Cawthon teaser, you know that there's gonna be more here than just a cool image. If you throw this thing into Photoshop and start brightening it up, step one in any FNAF teaser analysis, you're gonna see the background has lines. Lines with some oddly inconsistent spacing. And of course, you have text. The quote is from Fazbear Entertainment in the upper right-hand corner, saying that everything is working as intended, but also a not quite so hidden bunch of text right here in the middle of the image that you really gotta squint to truly read. Don't listen to them. Blank, let something inside. It was an accident. Remember Jeremy. Jeremy? That's the guy from the gravestone, the night guard who has his name on the paycheck from FNAF 2, the supposed Bite of 87 victim. Ladies and gentlemen, sound the alarms. We are talking about the Loeb lad himself, which means that there's only one option here. We are in the same continuity. Cue the party horns and cheerful children sound effects. I know we were all eager to throw out our textbooks at the end of last semester, guys, but it's time to break out FNAF Lore for Dummies one final time. Whoopity-doo! Who's excited? This guy, I guess. Now, creating my own ARG over the last couple months has taught me a lot of things, specifically better ways to hide and code messages. And one particularly effective but simple way to do it is by opening image files as text files. So if we open this image file in Notepad, we actually get our answer to that first missing word. Don't listen to them. We let something inside. It was an accident. Remember Jeremy. So with all of that evidence compiled, let's start analyzing before we start digging deeper. Because there's a lot deeper to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are just scratching the surface. Now, the phrase, remember Jeremy, actually tells us a lot of things here. First, it tells us both the speaker of that line and the person it's directed to know who Jeremy is. Secondly, it tells us that the events of this game are happening in the aftermath of his death, which at this point is commonly accepted to be the result of the Bite of 87. So from a timeline perspective, it looks like this quote is coming after 1987, meaning that we're after the string of murders in the FNAF 2 location and around the time of Michael Afton's revisit to the FNAF 1 building and his discovery of sister locations. In fact, knowing where in the timeline this quote must fall and seeing those lines in the background of the teaser, my mind immediately jumps to prison bars. Now, that seems like it might be a stretch. Clearly, these are just meant to be tiles, and while yes, that's probably what they are, the inconsistent spacing still felt weird to me, and it resembled the narrow strip of horizontal bars that...
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Aha! The video game market.
I'm sorry.
Spacing still felt weird to me, and it resembled the narrow strip of horizontal bars that many prison doors have. Now think back, way back to when this story first started. Back to the secret newspapers from FNAF 1. The things that first told us that there was a deeper story to begin with. Quote, video surveillance identified the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning. End quote. And on the follow-up story, headline, 5 children now missing, suspect convicted. While the suspect has been charged, the bodies themselves were never found. End quote. So if these newspaper clippings are still considered canon, this former employee was convicted, meaning that they found him guilty, and as a result, most likely he went to prison for his crime. And we can be fairly confident that this isn't Afton, since his only comeuppance seems to have been the Springlock failure and the eventual eternal torment in HE double toothpicks, meaning that there is still a potential story to be told of someone there who's trapped in prison, wrongfully accused, haunted by the nightmarish amalgamation of animatronics that got him thrown into the slammer. At least, that's my wishful thinking for a potential plotline for one of these stories. Is it the story that we're getting in this game? Probably not, but a boy in Freddy pajamas can dream. Can't he? Let's go back to the text. Don't trust them. That them could be referring to the animatronics, Or it could be referring to the members of Fazbear Entertainment, that quote in the upper corner saying that everything is working as intended. Now, as established by Ultimate Custom Night, the only haunted characters who still possess rational thought are Baby and the puppet.
The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
Which eliminates everyone that we currently see on screen here, thereby making it doubtful that the them in this quote is referring to the animatronics. Instead, this seems to be two employees of Fazbear Entertainment talking to each other, basically confirming not to trust what the bosses are saying. All the other lines here, we let something in, it was an accident, remember Jeremy, seem like those same co-workers realizing that something is wrong and that it relates to a mistake that they made, a mistake that's ultimately related to Jeremy's death, and now they're both worried about their own survival. Remember Jeremy seems to me to read more like, hey, remember that guy? We don't want to end up like him. So now, looking back across the games, what are some of the mistakes where something deadly has been let in? Well, you got Springtrap being let into Fazbear Fright in FNAF 3. You have basically the entirety of FNAF 6's salvage minigames, and Ennard from Sister Location. Ennard, who, funny enough, during the false ending to that game, repeatedly begs you to let